What's up, movie lovers? I'm Mike, and this is Gotta Love Them Movies. You guys, Ghostbusters! Ghostbusters! I really enjoyed this movie. I don't think it's fair to say I loved it, because I didn't love it. I really liked it. I really enjoyed what they did. Here's the thing. I need to real quickly address the hardcore Ghostbusters fans. We need to get this out of the way first. There are those people who are in the camp of this movie should never have been remade. And I kind of agree with you. It never should have been remade. If at best, a sequel. We should have had Ghostbusters 3. It's a hard pill to swallow if you didn't want this movie to be remade. And I understand that. I get that. But I don't think it's fair to say, oh, I'm never going to see this movie because it never should have been remade, and it's all women, and whatever your reasons are for hating this movie before you see it, drop it now, because that's unfair. It's unfair to hate a movie because it exists. You need to give it a chance, and you need to erase from your minds that, just take all prejudice out of your mind, take all hate, all judgment out of your psyche, essentially, and allow this movie to exist. And once you do that, then you actually get to see the movie for what it was meant to be seen as. Now, having said that, there are some things in the movie that don't really work. They don't really play well. Pretty much the whole way through, constantly, the movie is saying, hey, do you remember 1984 Ghostbusters? Hey guys, do you remember 1984 Ghostbusters? Hey guys, do you remember 1989 Ghostbusters? Like, they're referencing the first two films, and I get that, and they're doing it all the time. But by doing that, and trying to pay fan service as much as they can to say, hey, we're being our own thing, but at the same time, we want you to remember how great the original was. That's, okay, sure, great. And I'm glad that they kind of got that out of the way in this film, because for future installments, and yes, there will be future installments, I hope that it's out of their system, and that the future films are going to be able to kind of move forward. That being said, this film is just fine. I had mediocre expectations for it, and I was really excited about it, but I was also trying to be realistic about it. I would say the film kind of hit higher than what I thought it would. So let's get into the movie. Let's break it down. Let's talk about acting. It wasn't great. One of the big things that Paul Feig and a lot of the actors themselves were talking about is the amount of improvisation that they used in this film. I'm an improviser. I've been improvising for 9 years now. I love it. I love improv with all of my soul and my heart. But there's also a time and place for it. I love it when actors are able to improvise in a film. Or ad-lib, as you will. I love that. But when there's so much improvisation that you kind of lose your character because you're improvising your lines as much as you are, I think there comes to be a certain crossroads that you come to. Are you going to go too far? Are you going to take it too far? Are you going to reel it back? Yes, let's have fun, and let's make fun acting choices. But at the same time, let's remember who these characters are. Now, one of the actors, Kate McKinnon, ka-ching, in her character of Holtzman, it's a clear show stealer. She really takes it away. She's a fan favorite. People seem to love Kate McKinnon's character. And for good reason. She's silly, she's weird, she's fun. She gets to be her own original character, and that's the difference. Kate McKinnon was playing a character. Kristen Wiig was playing Kristen Wiig. Melissa McCarthy was playing Melissa McCarthy. And Leslie Jones was playing Leslie Jones. Not Kate McKinnon. She was playing Holtzman, Chris Hemsworth. He also was playing a character, but boy, how dumb can you get? He had a few like really great jokes, and then the rest of the time you're like, okay, we get it. You're dumb. Like, you're really dumb. So it's kind of a back and forth for me. It's a bit of a back and forth. So in terms of acting, I'm going to rate your acting at a 12. Directing, I think Paul Feig had a really difficult job to do. A really difficult job. And that's why, and I'm probably going to get into this later, I'm going to rate your directing, Paul Feig, at a 15. So script. Where was the script? There were some major story problems. Primarily the villain. We didn't have a motivation for the villain. We didn't get to see any insight as to who the villain is as a character. It's a very bland, generic, I'm a bad guy. You know, that's pretty much how you felt about it. Again, like some of the dialogue, and that is attributed to the as much improvisation as was allowed. There were a few things in the scripts that you're just kind of like, well, that, like I said, all those things that were shoehorned in, saying, hey, we're a Ghostbusters movie. Hey, do you remember 1984 Ghostbusters? Hey, like all those moments. They were fun. They were fun. It was fun to see. It was great to see. But it distracted from the story. It took away from the story a little bit. And it didn't, by shoehorning those things in, it didn't allow enough time to develop like the villain, or to develop other aspects of the movie, of the story, of the character development, as to why people are coming together the way they are. Leslie Jones's character shows up, and that's fine. But then the second time she shows up, you're like, wait a minute, and now she's just kind of a part of the team. And you're like, well, okay, sure. So it's that kind of stuff that needed to be reworked a little bit. Having said that, it was fairly solid in terms of story and in terms of things being brought back and called back. So in that regard, 12. Fun. I had a lot of fun in this movie. Like I said, it's not a perfect movie, but the things that are fun are really fun. Like Kate McKinnon doing her weird crazy dance. And I have to say, my favorite part of the movie is probably the first 10 minutes. That whole Aldridge Mansion thing, that was really fun. It really set the tone for the entire film. And I'm just going to keep saying that it was fun because it was fun. This film does have a high rewatchability factor to it. Sometimes you get caught up in those big budget action films and they lose some of that high rewatchability factor. Batman versus Superman. So yeah, I enjoyed this movie. I thought it was fun. It has a high rewatchability factor. You're getting 18 out of 20. Which brings me to my last point of the overall takeaway. What was the overall takeaway for this film? This was a controversial film at best. It was very important. I feel that in terms of the cinematic experience, film in general, storytelling, that it was important to have a film with as big of a cult following as Ghostbusters as it is, to star all females. That hasn't really been done before, and I like that. I like that it took a chance, and it worked. It actually worked. We're kind of testing out new area grounds for what film can do, what it can say, aside from what the story is. And this was a particularly important film. I think now that Ghostbusters is going to be its own franchise with the Ghost Corps, this is kind of, in a way, kind of a smaller rebirth in a cinematic experience, which is very important. So for that reason, and I imagine probably a lot of you are going to disagree with me, but I do feel very strongly about this, and I'm going to put the takeaway at a 19 out of 20. A few of the points that they bring up throughout the film are important and relevant to how we can view other people, to how we interact with other people. Oh man, I just had the whole like political state of the world in my mind flash through. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to comment, but I think it's pretty fair to say it's a mess right now. and it's films like this that we can kind of look to gain A, inspiration, and B, maybe a little bit of direction, and C, hopefully a little bit of morality, and learn how to deal with other people and interact with other people and keep it grounded in a sense of we're all in this thing together. So that's my final ruling for a total scoring of 76 out of 100. 76 out of 100, guys. That boils down to a 3.8 on the Gotta Love That Movie scale.
As a scientist, I don't want to prejudice my experiment. I'll let you know in the morning.
So I want to know what you had to think about 2016 Ghostbusters reboot. Let me know in the comment section below. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Are you somewhere in between? Are you one of those people that has already judged this movie before you see it? I want to know. Let me know. If you like this video, click like. If you really like this video, click subscribe. And if you really, really like this video, click share. Because that's what Slimer wants you to do. Guys, you can follow me on Twitter at GLTmovies. And don't forget, we've got some exciting things happening in the future. I'm starting the blog back up. So stay on the lookout for that. All right, movie lovers, I'm out of here.